Concrete pours are exciting, man. You have so many guys on site all working together in concert because you get one chance to do it right. So on a pour like this, on an addition this size, we're looking at about 45 yards of concrete, okay? On average, you get about 10 yards in every truck, okay? So if you figure 10 yards per truck, you're gonna have 4.5 trucks of concrete showing up to a project like this, okay? That's exactly what we did. So on standby, on a pour like that, we have all of the finishers, right? So you have probably 6, 7, 8 finishers for a project this size. What are those guys doing? They're getting ready to pour the concrete to finish it as it's curing up. You also need a guy running the pump, right? They can't just dump concrete right into the back of an area like this. You gotta run a pump. So you need a hose. So that hose has a big hopper. They pour the concrete into the hopper shakes it up and it pushes it out the hose, right? When you do a concrete pour like this, you gotta start with all the deep parts first. You gotta start with the footings first, okay? Footings usually go along the perimeter of the home, and sometimes you'll see them on the interior in portions where you're gonna be carrying a lot of load. So the guy responsible for making sure the concrete goes in the right places, he starts by pouring all those footings all the way around the perimeter, right? You got guys shaking the concrete to make sure that the concrete settles. Sometimes if it's really deep, you need a vibrator to make sure all that concrete settles and it's all going into the right places and it's settling in so you don't have an air pocket later, right? Once all of those things are done, then you start pouring through the middle. And you'll notice as they pump, they over pump in certain sections. And there's a definitive pattern that the pump runner uses, right? He kind of goes back and forth, almost in an S pattern, almost in a snake pattern back and forth. And you'll notice that he overflows certain areas, and then the finishers are responsible for making sure that there's enough and then screeding the line, right? They start taking big pieces of lumber or big pieces of metal and they start pushing everything out level to make sure that you have the right amount of concrete before the next section gets poured. And then through that process of screeding and pouring and screeding and pouring, eventually you get to the point where you finish the pour, right? And those guys are working it immediately. One of the funniest jokes that concrete finishers make is everybody's got to hurry up. You got to hurry up to wait. You got to hurry up to wait. So and why do they say that? Because you are literally now waiting for the concrete to cure as you are finishing it. And you can't leave until it's cured enough to make sure you get a nice hard trowel finish like the one I'm standing on right now.